Welcome, everyone. We got a lot of election updates. Now, not all of these have passed, or not all of these results are here, but there's certainly a lot to discuss. And when it comes to real estate, these could be a meaningful impact for yourself. My name is Spencer Sue, and welcome back to our channel. Let's go over some of the election kind of headlines and articles that we have been seeing, and some of just my general comments, because in general, maybe San Francisco is in the Bay Area is not as liberal as it was before. San Francisco, the liberal beacon, embraces conservative ballot measures. Is it really that conservative? What I really don't like is this aspect of it's a conservative or it's just a pure liberal thing. I don't think it's an issue or a problem when people just want general safety and some just basic things from happening. But it's funny how these articles are basically showing like, oh, San Francisco is not progressive anymore. Maybe just people got tired of getting robbed or getting like people dying or people getting like just petty theft and all these different things happening. It may have gone too extreme, like it got too on one side, versus maybe people just want a little bit more in the middle, not even to the extreme other side, but something like more of kind of common sense, right? So the two big things that have occurred in San Francisco is related to kind of two main things that were there. One is related to if people that are unhoused or homeless wanted additional funding, they actually had to pass basic drug tests. I don't know why this has been so controversial, and it made no sense. When I remember reading the article back in the day, I was like, wait a second. People can abuse drugs and keep going through those matters, yet still get money for that? Like, there should be some level of accountability. And so fortunately, they passed it like, look, there needs to be drug screening. If you fail this, you're not going to get more money, because then it just kind of fuels that bad habit going on and on. And I get it that some people are ultimately addicted to it, but something's got to change, right? If it's not working in the past, why do you think it'll keep working better in the future? So that's one aspect of things that did get passed. The other aspect of things was related to surveillance. So the police in San Francisco has a little bit more tools that they can use. I don't know if that was necessary or not. Like, they have more ability for surveillance. I think if they're able to have the ability to like reverse from what we've had before, like what we've done or whatever these cities have done in the past should just be going the complete opposite right now. If you want to have some meaningful change the other way, right? Prosecute, chase after these criminals more. Like, am I crazy to think that's just kind of fairly common sense? Like, it's okay to have experimented with things, but if it's not working, then maybe you revert it back to what it was before, right? Why keep going down that path? It's clearly not working, and there's no stat to say things are getting better. So it's actually very positive that many people from the city of San Francisco have gone the other way to say, look, this is enough. It may not be the right solution, and there is no perfect solution, but it can't be what we have been dealing with for the last couple of years. And so a lot of these things have been changed and have been pushed back up. Now, what I find really interesting, though, is there's been a lot of press, right, about Mayor London Breed. A lot of people were not very happy with her. But because she's a supporter of these, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens when it comes time to the November elections, right? Because it's going to be really fascinating as to what ultimately happens. But she's getting clearly a lot more street cred if she's the one backing these kind of more moderate votes. And so we will see, and we'll see how that progresses. Now, the other thing that's been very, very tight is a California state proposition, Proposition 1. California is super split on this, on ballot measure to tackle homelessness crisis. I mean, take a look at this. The idea about this bond, and look how close it is. Like, I don't know when this will be finalized. It's going to come down to the very end. But this is as narrow and as divided as it can be. But the idea is to be able to reallocate certain funds that are already there to help with the state's mental health system, right? As you can see, this will be the first update that they have done in the last 20 years. And there's many people that have said, look, it's because that we do not fund these things anymore that this has gotten so much worse than before. And so the question for the voters is one, is the allocation of funds correct? Is this actually a solution for this, or is it just a temporary fix? Or, quite frankly, it's a starting point and they're just going to raise our taxes down the road and may not do anything. What is your vote on this? Leave in the comments below with what your general thoughts are of it. I mean, I'm super mixed of this too. On one end, it's the same thing as what San Francisco has dealt with. If things are not working well for a long time, maybe you got to do something just different to try to see if this reverse courses. So on one end, I think I can see why people are saying yes for this. On the other end, I can also see why people are saying no. They're like, look, the government should not be involved with any of this. The less, the better. And because they'll just be wasting all this money, taxpayer money, and let the free market decide. So this is why it's so divided in the middle. But it also shows a lot of things, right? Perhaps California is not as liberal as all these media outlets want you to believe or hope that you would believe. Maybe a lot of Californians are also fed up, right? We're not going to necessarily leave to Texas or anything like that, but maybe a lot are fed up, like it's gone too far the other way. We're not trying to get to the other spectrum, but there should be some. It's okay to have some sort of middle ground. Like it can't go back to, like it can't go all the way to the left. And so it is a good sign. And why these are all very important is because if it's going in one direction and continues to get worse, when it comes to real estate, people will be like, look, I don't have much hope for that city. But if these things are turning and the things do get better, then that may attract people to be like, look, I have the confidence to invest, or I have the confidence to say, look, I'm ready to settle down. Maybe this is a turning point. And so if these do pass and they continue to be what the direction it is, and it does work, do not be surprised that there's going to be more and more people that go back to the city. They'll feel like they feel a sense of feeling happy with the environment, because people will always continue to flock into San Francisco. Even now, there's still a lot of people there. But if things can get better, as in some of these things just improve, do you think there'll be more or less people that will be entering into that city, especially from out of the area, right? Because a lot of the people may have been jaded from being in the city. Maybe they had a really bad experience. Maybe they went to a restaurant and they got their car smashed. Of course, that's a really negative taste in your mouth. And you'd be like, look, I don't even want to go to the city anymore. But if these things get resolved, or you're like, look, I'm willing to take another chance at the city because of the liveliness, because of the culture, because of all the things you can do, all the activities, then people may say, look, I'm ready to go back into the city. I'm ready to spend money. I'm ready to invest. I'm ready to settle down. There's plenty of money on the sidelines that could be ready for these opportunities. Now, when it comes to San Jose, there was one big measure that I want to share with you. And there's also a good amount of confidence that I also want to cover too. The number one is related to the mayor. So the mayor had an overwhelming majority vote. And this is San Jose is one of the largest cities, not just in the Bay Area, but in the entire country. So it's been great to see. Like, take a look at these stats. The mayor of San Jose, I think he won by like 80% or 85%. So super popular. And Matt has been doing clearly a very good job of doing what he can on such a large cities. Very different situation of what's going on in Oakland, what's going on in San Francisco. But it shows some pretty good confidence of like the people of San Jose that have voted for Matt. It's like, look, you're doing the right thing. Nothing is perfect. There's a lot of things that needs to be done, but at least you're going the right direction. And I haven't seen something this overwhelming in a long time. Now, the other thing that were there are these kind of smaller measures. I'm not going to go over these individual ones, but you can certainly look for yourself. I'm sure there's many specific ones that are relevant to your own city, your own county. But the big ones that are still waiting on is still Proposition 1, how the money is used for the health bonds. Super mixed. I don't think it's going to affect housing drastically. I guess it could. If you think about many of the unhoused, they tend to be in more Some used to be more core areas, but now they've kind of been spreading apart. It's kind of an interesting thing of how the cities are trying to move people around. So there's just something to be mindful. I don't think it impacts housing that much outside of, I would say, the ones in San Francisco and Oakland, which has a much larger, like seemingly apparent density when it comes to the unhoused. But still, quite frankly, interesting to see. But I think the most important thing is, quite frankly, the change of behavior, especially in places like San Francisco, to have voted for these different things that people would have said this was so liberal. Like, why are they doing this? Why are they considering doing this? And it's great to see, because then I would say those that have been betting, like maybe you have a property in San Francisco, well, maybe hopefully it does a little bit better than what it has been in the last 5-6 years. Maybe this is a turning point. We will see. What are your thoughts with the votes? Is this what you voted for? Is this the direction that you want to see? I want to hear in the comments below. It's super polarizing on one end, but it's such an important discussion that people have to have. If it's not working well, it doesn't matter what side you're on, left, moderate, right. Perhaps you just got to do something different. See you in the next video.